Howdy, howdy everyone, Chris here, and this is Garage Noise. If this is your first time to the channel, this channel is dedicated to teaching you everything you need to know about paint and body repair. And today, I'm going to walk you through the steps of prepping out and painting these two panels. We're also going to talk about a new clear coat that I've been testing that's a fast drying clear coat that may be perfect for a DIY repair. So let's dig in and get started. In the previous episode, we went ahead and repaired the bent edge of this fender, straightened a dent. We used a little bit of filler and primed it and got it ready for paint. Before we start doing any kind of sanding on these panels to prep them out for paint, we're going to clean these. Now you can use soap and water if you're at home, and then I would recommend a wax and grease remover. That's an automotive wax and grease remover. That's going to remove any contaminants on the surface so you're not sanding those into the paint. Next step is I'm going to use my Mirka orbital sander with an interface foam pad and some 800 grit sandpaper, and we're going to prep out these areas for our blend. Now this is the foam pad here, and what this is going to do, it's going to easily move with the contours of this body so we don't burn through any of these body line or edges. We don't want to burn through these body lines because we may have to apply color in an area that we don't want color. We want to keep that color over the primer areas and then blend out into the fender and blend out into the door. Now I'm going to sand all the large areas with the orbital sander, but I'll go around and fine tune the edges and the body lines by hand. And you can do this all by hand if you choose.
Okay, now we'll sand over with some 800. I'm going to go over all the large areas with the orbital sander, and then we'll do the tight areas and the hard to reach areas with a scuff pad by hand.
If you're using a DA, you want to use it at a nice medium speed. You want to hold your DA flat and move with the contours of the panel, and be sure not to burn through any of those body lines.
Okay, so now we have this all sanded with the orbital sander. We got all the large areas. Now we're going to go ahead and use one of these ultra-fine sanding sponges. This is a soft pad. It's an 800 grit. Now you can use 800, 600, or even 1,000 for this step. But we want to go over all these shiny areas. Everywhere that hasn't been sanded, we're going to scuff it with this 800 grit pad. Now be careful not to sand the adjacent panels. You don't want to hit the glass or any moldings or any trim that you haven't removed. So be careful with this if you need to tape off. So like this right here, before I sand, in between this fender and this post, we're going to tape this post off. The reason we're sanding this is so when we spray clear and we blend into this panel, that clear coat is going to stick. It's not going to peel down the road. It's going to have good adhesion so we have a proper repair.
There's no doubt about it that preparation is the most important part of any repair, so make sure you're completely thorough when you prep out your panels for paint.
This is the flexible sanding sponge that I use. It's made by Sunmite. Good product. It's not super expensive, reasonably priced. You can look them up on Amazon. I have links in my description, but really good and come in really handy. Okay, so now we put some guide coat on here. This is the guide coat we use, and what guide coat is going to do is going to show you any scratches or any low areas that are in your primer that you need to block out. It's also going to show you when your texture is gone. So this has a little bit of texture in it. You can see it here. And what I'll do is block it in a crosshatch pattern.
You can see the texture in the primer. That's what we want to block smooth. We want this primer to be nice, flat, and smooth.
We're going to keep this body line intact, so we don't want to block right on that body line. Basically, once this gets flat, we're going to switch over to 600 to remove those 320 grit scratches. You can see how we're blocking out that texture. It's nice and flat here. There's no scratches. You just need to block some more here. I'm going to use this little flexible block. So this one flexes. It's Velcro. We're going to use some 600.
Now that we have it sanded and ready for paint, before we start masking this off, we want to clean it once again. And we're going to clean the outside and inside the door jambs because we're going to be masking those off, and there's a lot of oils and contaminants that get inside that jamb that you want to have clean before you start masking because your tape will not stick. So we're going to clean inside this door jamb along the perimeter of that door, and then we're going to clean the jamb itself so we don't have any contaminants that will blow into our paint or any oils that are going to keep us from masking off this properly. So I'll clean first with a water-based cleaner. I like to use spray away glass cleaner, and then I'll go over it all with a wax and grease remover to remove those oils and contaminants. And then later on, before I start painting, I'm going to show you what I use to help eliminate static and keep that dust from landing in your paint job. It's nice to have a couple different size tapes. I have an 1.5 inches here and then a 3/4 inch. And we're just going to lay this 1.5 inches right on the edge of this door, on the bottom and the side. Remember, mask off your door jamb first. See how this tape will lay over the edge of that rear door? Then we'll put it on the bottom as well. And then we can mask to that and cover the rocker. Here I'm using an 1.5 inch tape to tape between the body and the glass. We'll back tape along that edge and then we'll fold that down and tape it to the glass. This will help eliminate overspray and also eliminate dust particles from blowing out into your paint job. Okay, let's finish up masking off this vehicle and then we'll do a final wipe down. I'll show you how you can help eliminate dust and then we'll talk about the clear coat we're using today. Okay, so now we have all the perimeter taped off. We're going to go ahead and run plastic over it. We've got the holes taped up, door handle holes, the wheel opening. We're going to run plastic over it, cut out the area we're painting and tape the plastic down tight so we don't have any overspray. Okay, now we're ready for paint. There's a few things I want to do before we start laying color. And one is to wipe it down with some isopropyl alcohol. This is a 70% mixture, and it really helps with eliminating static and keeping that dirt from attracting to the panel. And then we'll wipe it down with a tack rag and give it one final clean before we start spraying our color. Today I'll be using a budget paint gun. This is the Astro Pneumatic EVOT 13, right around $100. If you haven't checked out the review and demo on this gun, check it out. I'll leave a link at the end. This paint color is a tri-stage finish, so we're going to do our base, our mid coat, and then our clear coat. This particular color is a little bit transparent, so in an ideal situation, you may want to use a tinted sealer to cover this primer. This would help with using less material and getting better coverage when you're painting. After the first coat, you can see it is still quite transparent, so we're not going to try and cover it all in one coat. We're going to let this sit, let it flash off and dry, and then we'll put another coat on, and that'll help us get better coverage. The paint we're using today is the Nason XL. And the settings I'm using on this gun is 20 psi of air pressure. I've got my fan pattern wide open and 2 turns out on the volume. So this gun consumes about 10 to 12 CFMs of air, and that's the air that it's needed to push this gun so it performs properly and consistently. Now soon I'm going to be doing a review on the Eastwood LT100, which consumes 4.5 CFMs. That's going to be in the next video, so make sure you check that out. But that is a perfect gun for a DIY or someone working with a small compressor. With the second coat of paint, we're getting a little bit better coverage. It's still quite transparent, so we're going to continue putting coats on this. I'm going to let it flash off, and I'm just concerned with covering that primer at this point. Okay, I'm going to apply the final coat of base coat before we go ahead onto the mid coat. Now, it's going to be covered, but it's not going to be the same color because we have to put the mid coat pearl over it, and that's what's going to give it that color that matches the rest of the vehicle. I did put a little bit of heat on this. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply the mid coat, and as you can see, I'm going well past where I put that base coat on, that first base. We want to go 4 to 6 inches past that and blend out into the panels. You can see I'm blending well out into that door and well out into that fender. If I get a little bit of pearl towards the edge of that door, it's really not going to make that big a difference. So I want it to be a gradual transition in color, so it fools the eye in thinking that it's all the same color. So you want to wait 10 minutes in between coats. Now I'm using a little bit of heat here to speed up that process because I'm doing 4 coats of base and then a mid coat. So it is time consuming. So I'm putting on my final coat of pearl here, and we're going to blend it out, and then we'll be ready for some clear coat. We are using the Transtar Max clear coat. Here in a minute, I'll pull up that technical data on that clear coat, and I'll walk you through it and talk about why I think it might be a good clear coat for you to use at home. So after looking this over, I went ahead and put one more mid coat on this. I cleaned up any dust that was on it. You want to look it over real well before you start clearing, and if there's any dust that you need to knock down, you can use a little bit of 2000 grit and sand that down just a little bit and put another coat of paint on it. So we'll just put our final coat of mid coat on this, and then we'll pull up our clear coat and I'll show you what we got. So today we're using the Max Clear Coat by Transtar. This is a warranted product, and with the Transtar Activator 6894, 75 to 90 degree temperature, this is kind of like a speed clear coat. It dries relatively quickly. Here's the technical data sheet on this clear coat if you want to screenshot it or pause it and check it out. But I'm going to go over a few things here. It is a 4-to-1 clear, low overspray, and right here you can see with the 6894 activator, it's dust free in 10 to 15 minutes. And then after 2 hours, you can cut and buff it, polish it, and deliver it. One thing to watch out for when using a fast drying clear coat is dieback. You don't want it to lose any gloss after you've cleared it. And some of these fast drying clears have a tendency to die back just a bit. Now this one has done really well, and I think because it takes 2 hours to dry, it really holds its gloss well, and I haven't seen a big reduction in gloss. Let's see how this clear coat performs. I'm going to use the Iwata Kiwami 4 to lay down this clear coat. We'll see if we can slick it out. I'll set my fan pattern at wide open, 3 turns out on my volume, and 30 psi. When you're spraying clear coat, you want to be about 6 inches away. You want that clear coat coming out of the gun to be as fine as possible, so it's going to atomize. Wherever that edge of that clear starts to atomize and be really fine, that's where you want to be. It's about 6 inches away. You want to overlap 70% on your passes. You want to have a consistent speed and the consistent distance from the panel at all times. Another little tip is you don't want to stop clearing on the edge or a body gap, like the edge of the fender or the edge of the door. Clear right off the panel or clear right past that gap. Don't stop on those gaps. You can get some buildup there, cause a run or something of that nature.
This Iwata gun just produces a beautiful finish. If you haven't checked out the review and demo on this gun, check it out. I'll leave a link at the end. But if you're looking for a paint gun, this one is nice, and it's not super expensive. I really did like this Max clear coat, so I'll be reviewing a few different clear coats in the future, and we'll do a comparison of all these clear coats. But being that this is a faster drying clear coat, it really had a nice clarity, a nice gloss, and it came out off the gun really nicely, and it flowed out beautifully. So I was really happy with the finish off the gun, and I've had the opportunity to buff and polish this clear, and let me tell you, it buffs and polishes beautifully. Those are some of the things I'm looking for when I'm reviewing a clear coat for you guys. So we'll talk about that in another video. Listen, if you want to learn more about paint and body repair, check out one of these videos now. We'll see you next time on Garage Noise.